Hello, my name's Portia Bulger, and I'm a proud organizer of ERA Action 3-State Strategy, which is an issue team for the Progressive Democrats of America. Today we're at Adena Mansion Visitor Center, and we're doing a high tea following in the tradition of Dr. Alice Paul, who authored the Equal Rights Amendment and also was one of the main leaders in the suffragist movement to gain women the right to vote. Today, Senator Nina Turner is our keynote, and she is a candidate for Secretary of State for the state of Ohio. And our goal is to be able to fund a nationwide campaign to fight back against voter suppression laws and to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. That's good enough.
That's good.
Welcome everybody, what a wonderful turnout. We're so excited to have everyone here today gathered together to celebrate Alice Paul. Happy Women's History Month. I'm going to recognize a few people today. Dr. Jean Kearney, can you stand up? She's our honoree, and I think Bill Showman, would you stand up? He's been a great help to us. And he and I were at the laundromat for quite a few hours last night working on these chair covers. Well, I'm trying to get the wrinkle out, so he's been very dedicated. So thank you, Bill. Really appreciate it. Also, Stacy Brooks isn't here right now, but our Ross County Chair, Stacy, I'd like to recognize Stacy, and also Beth Neal, who is a city council member, as is Bill, and donated all our water. Ronnie Richards, would you stand up? Host committee member. Ronnie, for 2nd District Congress, I will definitely be voting for him, and I hope all of you will as well. He is definitely going to represent us here in Appalachia. He's been here I don't know how many times to Ross County, and we've got a great guy here, so we need to really make sure we get out the vote for Ronnie in the primary. So thank you very much. Scott Wharton. Scott's running for the 15th District, and again, a wonderful man who, by the way, was on the ERA train when he ran the last time, so one of our first supporters. So he's really somebody we need to get out the vote. This is the time, everybody. 2014 is the time that we've got to all come together and get it done. We've got look at this, all these progressives in this room. Who would have thought it? I know that Andrea Miller from PDA, they definitely didn't think that there were so many progressives in Southern Ohio. They were very surprised to hear that. And I'd also like to recognize Constance Lytle. Would you please stand up, Constance? She's with the Claremont County Women's Interest Group Leader and the Democratic Party Central Committee Chair, as well as the Democratic Party Women's Caucus Region 7 Leader and Interim Vice Chair, and Ohio Democratic Party Executive Committee. And again, all our host committee members here, he really went out on a limb for us when we wanted to put this event together, promised to get these tickets sold. This is the first fundraiser PDA's ever had in the entire state, so this is a very good event, and it's thanks to all of you that were at faith that we could pull it off, and we certainly did, so thank you. I just want to tell you briefly about why we're here. Like I said, we're here to unify. We're here to, oh, and also Liz Walters from the Ohio Democratic Party. Anyway, like I was saying, we want to bring attention to the fact that women are not equal in the country, in our country. In 2014, we're not recognized in our Constitution, as well as our voting rights are under attack. And it's time that we all come together and say enough is enough. We've got to demand, no longer asking, we're demanding full constitutional equality, and we need all of us. Men, women, this is not an issue of just a women's issue. This is a human rights issue. It is an economic issue. And it is an outrage that in our country we are not provided with constitutional protection for to prevent discrimination. So I hope that all of you will get involved in that as well. And a little bit about how we got involved with PDA. Some of you that know me, I was in OFA with President Obama in 2008 as well as in 2012. And when I went to college, back in 2008 is when I started college during the Obama campaign. And in my late 30s, I took a women's studies class in college and was pretty surprised and disgusted with the history that had been kept from me and everybody else just going to high school. We thought women, I mean, we didn't learn about women in our history in high school, did we? I think we learned, Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. Like that much in a history book. And so it's really not a rarity that women do extraordinary things, but that's hidden from us, and that's not right. And so I learned about Alice Paul, who I never heard of before until I was 39 years old, and found out what Alice Paul did for us. Alice Paul dedicated her entire life to voting, and once she got the vote, she authored the ERA and fought for it up until the time she died when she was in her 90s. And we have ratified the ERA, or I'm sorry, passed the ERA, but we have not ratified the ERA. We need 3 more states, and that's all we need. We have legislation in the Senate, and it's going to be reintroduced in the House because to remove the deadline for ratification, because I'm sure a lot of you are aware there was this sticky little thing where they put a deadline on women's equality. We only had 7 years, and then they extended it 3 more. And so now there's legislation, and there is a lot of movement on this legislation, momentum. Back when we, like I was saying with the OFA, when I was in OFA, we started a petition. We learned about the petition, the White House petitions, and we decided we wanted President Obama to come out and support the ERA. So we started this petition on whitehouse.gov, and that's how ERA Action formed, came out of that. Portia, Kathy, and I, along with some other people, formed ERA Action, and that's how we hooked up with Andrea, with PDA. That's been one of her issues for a long time. So we've hooked up, we've joined together, it's been all action. We had events, a lot of it goes on online, but we also do boots on the ground. There was action in Arkansas, there was action in Illinois. Recently, just last month, there was big action in Virginia, and so I believe 9 of the 15 unratified states has legislation right now at the state level. We're also pushing this federal legislation. Most recently, in the Senate, we got Elizabeth Warren on, and that was a really big deal. We have 34 senators on our bill. So we're just going to keep moving. We were able to go to the NOW conference in Chicago, and they've endorsed the removing the deadline as well. We're going to be heading, Kathy and I are going to be going down to Virginia with Andrea. We're going to be meeting up and working on this more and going and lobbying in DC again. So at this time, just keep in mind, we need everyone's help. When it comes time to call your Congress people, your senators, we do of course have our wonderful Senator Sherrod Brown's already on our legislation on it, but so when it comes time for that, please take the time to make a phone call. It takes you 5 seconds, not long at all. So just get involved. At this time, I'm going to invite Kathy Kamen up. She's my partner with ERA Action, and she's going to tell you a little bit of history, and then we'll move along. So thanks, everybody. And